Long Trail has a tradition at graduation where every single senior has an opportunity to address the crowd. In most years, that has meant 5, 10, 19, 24 seniors. This year we have 34 who are graduating. It's the largest graduating class in our history. Today we salute your work as scholars, athletes, actors, creators, community servants, entrepreneurs, and more. Your academic record is second to none. You are our first class to participate in our International Baccalaureate program. 14 of you earned your IB pin in a ceremony last night for participating in the full diploma program, but 90% of you took at least one International Baccalaureate course. You were accepted at over 100 colleges, 114 colleges, in 22 states and 2 Canadian provinces. You have embraced the notion of internationalism that we have sought to develop at our school. You have or will travel to Guatemala, Spain, France, Britain, Turkey this summer, and more. You have collaborated with scientists from Sweden, represented North Korea at a Model UM symposium in Montreal, and opened your homes to Long Trail students from around the world. When you leave the stage today, you will be leaving a remarkable legacy at our school for others to build upon, and in turn you will take what you have learned into the world. Take that knowledge and do something special with it, and please come back to say so.
I don't know where I am, but my feet are insane. The sea is all around, I can feel the rain. My mind has slipped in esoteric isolation. Where was I shipped? I'm miles from salvation. It's cold at night, the day sun's bold, mountain bright. It's cold at night, the day sun's bold, mountain bright. Oh, it's cold. Oh, it's cold. Oh, it's cold. Oh, it's cold.
And I want to share with you some of the things these masterful students shared with us. And as you think about it, I'd like you to think about yourself, and you're 18, 17 years old, getting ready to go off to college. You're finished with high school and you're thinking about the next part of your life. And this is what these kids were thinking about. They said, we really want to see more connection between the upper school and the middle school kids. I really took this to mean that they were thinking about mentoring, about spending more time together with the younger students. When asked to elaborate, they started talking about the school community and what the community meant to them. It's a word that we often use at all the schools, but I know that's what brought me here to Long Trail. They talked about things like the honor code and what the honor code stood for and how important they felt. They said, our school administration does a wonderful job basically of telling us about it, but to really internalize it, we feel like we as students meeting and talking to the younger students, we could really make a difference in terms of them understanding the honor code and what it means to us as fellow students. How wonderful is that? They talked about responsibility and trust that they were first given when they came here to the school, and that was something that meant so much to them, as they realized that, in many cases that doesn't happen, and that's something they'd love to see more of.
That's the thing about Long Trail. We're a community, and we trust each other enough to open up and say stupid things, and it's okay. It happens. Now, I know you've heard this stuff before. The community thing in particular is Long Trail cliche, but cliches exist for a reason. Trust matters here. It matters in life.
Therein lies another component of education, trust. Education requires trust. Trust that your teacher is preparing you for something real, that what you've learned has a meaning outside of school, even if you can't quite see it yet. Trust in yourself that you'll be able to make those translations into real life.
The problem with today's society is that nobody seems to be able to think for themselves anymore. Critical thinking, problem solving, and innovation seem to be falling by the wayside because the education of young people is geared towards memorization of facts and ideas rather than the creation of new ones. And once again, that question arises in my mind. What are we doing wrong? This is where Long Trail comes in. That seemingly complex question has a simple solution. It is ever present in the LTS community. Freedom of exploration forced me to challenge what I thought I knew.
And here at Long Trail in little old Dorset, Vermont, I found some purpose in my life. I've made connections that I never dreamed of making, not just with friends and faculty, but intellectual connections as well. These are fostered by the people who purposely roam the halls of this school. You could walk down the hallway and bump into Scott and talk for 10 minutes about amino-acyl tRNA synthetase, or another student and talk about Freud's dream theory from Sean's psychology class. Intellectual and social connections are not just made within the classroom here.
I was welcomed with open arms and open hearts. It has been a challenge, though. I was not prepared for the amount of work or the level of expectation of how good that work needs to be. But I did it. I stuck to my guns and finished high school. The Long Trail didn't just teach me how to work to a high level of expectation. It taught me that we don't have a lot of time. It taught me how to be myself and not let others' words define who I am.
As I came to understand the Long Trail community, one thing that stood out for me was how much every teacher cared about me. At my old school, there were a couple of teachers who were like this, but here, every teacher not only knew the way I learned, but also who I was as a person. This allowed me to thrive not only academically, but also in a personal way.
I know I am prepared for the next steps in life because of Long Trail. I have been able to be myself and create and build on my values in a place where everyone is accepted. I can't imagine who I would be if I did not come here, and frankly, I don't want to. Every aspect of the school has taught me a lesson, whether I wanted it to or not, and influenced who I am and what kind of person I want to become. Long Trail has taught me to take chances and not to care too much about what others think, to set goals no matter how challenging it will be to make them a reality. Because as Sean tells us every year, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
I left Long Trail between 8th and 11th grade after my family moved to Stowe in northern Vermont. And it really didn't take long before I realized what I'd left behind was something special. Long Trail had been a place where I always felt supported to express myself in the most sincere way. A unique quality to any school. It was for this reason that I knew I had to come back. Having been part of an entirely different school environment for my freshman and sophomore years truly illuminated the remarkable nature of this community.
It is the unknown that enables people to hope, and that makes life worth living. Long Trail has prepared me for this future full of possibilities. It is a forgiving environment where I am allowed to make mistakes, to experience failures, and to take time growing up to become a better person. It is a family where we care about each other, where we share part of life, where we walk in the hallway and tell people you matter. It makes me believe in the kindness of life.
We each had been granted the skills to lead, empower, and excel, and the question was simple. What were we going to do with them? Today, I present the same question to my fellow graduates. We have each been given the opportunity to grow and learn through our time here at Long Trail. With the skills that we have acquired, whether courage, leadership, confidence, or merely the ability to think differently, I challenge you. What are you going to do with it?
Tell you to run. Well, pick me